Hallo und willkommen zurück nach dem Kanal. Tim Rody fahrt mit Scheiße. Yeah, sorry, it's a German car today. I've lost my mind because I've not filmed anything for 3 weeks and I've had another kid. And if children are something that you are afflicted by, then it's probably affected your car buying. You probably want something big, something practical, but you probably still want something interesting, something a bit sporty like, I don't know, an Octavia VRS. But if you want to spend more money, have less space and have something a lot faster, then the Golf R has always been a great choice for the past 5 years or so now. This is the all new one. Apparently it does skids. Let's check it out. And sorry for Deutsch. Yes, this is the new 2021 Mark 8 Golf R, the most powerful production Golf ever, at least until next year when they'll probably release a slightly faster one. But anyway, 1 in 10 Golfs in the UK is going to be a Golf R. We love them over here. When the Mark 7 came out, they were, well, just everywhere. I think because there were cheap lease deals, so you could get one for about 240 quid a month. It is the four-wheel drive rocket ship of a Golf. So what do you get? Well, as standard, you get a blue strip which lights up white at night. There's an R badge. You get LED IQ headlights as standard, which do the curvy bendy thing when you turn the steering wheel, and there's a car coming. You also get a more aggressive lip spoiler down the bottom, and to signify it's an R model, you get the silver mirror caps like you get on Audi S models. That's pretty much it from the front. Let's do the side and then the back, because that's what I do. Standard Mark 8 Golf R will set you back about 38 grand. This one's 42 grand off some options. The only options on this are the adaptive dampers, the paint, and £1,000 worth of sunroof. 18-inch wheels come as standard, or you can get 19s, and if you get the 19s, you can stick Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyres on, with which this car set a new Nürburgring lap record for a Golf, and it went 17 seconds faster around Nordschleife than the Mark 7 and the Mark 7.5 Golf R did, so it is quicker. Whole car is 20mm lower than a regular Golf, and the brakes weigh 600 grams less each side at the front than on the last one, because it's got new aluminium calipers. And what else is there to say? The rear control arm mounts are kind of changed for more stability, but the whole point of this is it's got torque vectoring, which is new. It's got an electrically controlled clutch on each side of the rear axle, and it can send 50% of all the power from the engine to the back, and then 100% of that 50% to either wheel, so it can do skids. If you've got the performance pack, which this car doesn't, then you'll have a drift mode in the options and it can do skids. This one can do skids anyway, just not ridiculous ones. What else do you need to know about the side of it? That's probably enough about the side of a Golf, isn't it? Let's do the back. The back end of the Mark 8 Golf R is a real mix of old and new. You've got the old, the familiar quad exhaust tips. There's an optional Krapovich titanium setup for, I think it's about 3,000-ish quid if you want that. The new is the new shiny R badge, which is slap bang in the middle of the tailgate, and I don't know, I kind of think it looks a little bit lost, but whatever. What do I know about style? The boot is 374 litres, which is 7 litres smaller than your regular family 1.5 litre Golf, and that's because the four-wheel drive stuff sits under the boot floor. You've still got height adjustable boot floor, and you've got 2 lashing points, so you can get on the lash with the beers, son. Lads, that's lads, etc. Lash. The beating heart of the Golf R is the EA 888 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged Evo 4 generation. It's like the Queen's lingerie collection. You're very familiar with the subject, but it's just not very sexy. Big plastic shroud, 320 horsepower, 420 newton meters, which is up, I think, 20 horsepower on the last one after the emissions thing. And I think 20 newton meters of torque more, not 60 in 4.7 seconds, but some people say it's much closer to 4, and it's limited to 155 miles an hour, unless you get the performance pack, which removes the electronic limiter, or at least increases it. But yeah, it's not very interesting to look at. It's probably better to drive. But what I hear you cry about the back seats, well, it's a Golf. There's loads of room for my head, there's loads of room for my knees. There's these little prison trouser bum pockets for your phone, and the seats are actually quite squishy, so your knees, if they do bump into them, aren't gonna hurt. And you've got temperature controls, but that's kind of it in the back, really. It's quite simple, quite basic, quite roomy for a small car. The interior of the Mark 8 Golf R is quite nice. You've got grey and blue, slightly tartany seats, which look like someone's, I don't know, turned a seal inside out, but I quite like them. You've got a new progressive steering rack. I think it's nicked from the Golf GTI. I think it's meant to feel more direct. Obviously, we'll come on to that in the driving bit. You've got an R button on the steering wheel, which puts it straight into race mode, and your driving mode selector is here. Here. You've got Comfort, Sport, Race and Individual. If you've got the Performance Pack, you get Special, which gives you the Nürburgring lap record setup, and Drift as well, so you can go and do skids with no safety net apparently in drift mode. If you cock it up, you cock it up. There's no manual gearbox option, and if you put this in manual using the quite nice looking but plastic paddles, you can bang into the rev limiter in race mode. The infotainment system is the same as the infotainment system in every other Mark 8 Golf, which means it's about as enjoyable to use as, I don't know, taking an asteroid to the genitals. It's not very good. I'll show you one specific thing once this plane's gone. Yes, I know I always whinge about the Mark 8 Golf's infotainment system, but I'm just going to show you a very R-specific whinge I have with it. Say you want to put the stability control system in a slacker mode so you can have some fun and actually use the torque vectoring. You have to go to Vehicle. You then have to press Vehicle. You then have to go to Exterior and swipe right until it says Brakes. You then have to tap on the word Brakes, and then you can put it in ESC Sport or turn it fully off. But my God, just give us a physical button. That took me, I don't know, it took me 5 minutes to work out the first time I did it, and now obviously it takes about 10 seconds to do, but it's 10 seconds, you're not looking at the road. It is annoying, but otherwise it is nice in here, to be fair. Digital driver's display, everything's just nice, comfy and easy, and I do like the seats, as I said. But anyway, the whole point of this car is to be good at driving, so let's go and do the driving and see if it's good. Right, I'm going to take you for a drive in the Mark 8 Golf R. You start it with this button, and it starts with a bit of a burble, a bit of a gurgle. I think that is mostly fake, but anyway. Little stubby gear lever. As I said, there's no manual option into reverse. There's no reversing camera on this car, so yeah, if you can't reverse a Golf without reversing camera, then hand in your driving license, I guess. I'm on my bumpy track. I'm going to put the car into comfort mode and see if it's comfortable. Yeah, it's comfortable. Remember, this car's got the optional 800 quid DC sealer dynamic chassis control, which is adaptive dampers. You should get them. It makes such a big difference being able to switch between sporty and softer settings. And for 800 quid, there's nothing in the grand scheme of things, really, is it? So yeah, in comfort mode, it's quite comfortable. Let's stick it in race mode. Yeah, it's quite a bit firmer, but still well controlled. Bit jiggly there. Right, let's take it out of R mode, put it back in comfort. Yeah, it gets a lot better. So anyway, it is comfortable. That's what that test proved. Now let's go and see if it is quick. I'm just going to put it in race mode for the majority of this, to be honest. I'll change the stability control in a bit, but you know, race mode is the sportiest mode. It's what the button on the steering wheel does. That's what I'm going to use. You don't buy a Golf R unless you're going to do this occasionally. Let's go. There we go, traction control light flickering. That is 60 miles an hour. It's chuffing quick. I think Matt Watson at Car Wows timed this with a V-Box and got something like 4.2, something like that. Anyway, quicker than the 4.7 that says on paper. The steering does feel super direct as well, which is nice. It's quite weighty in race mode. There's a lot of artificial weight to it, but it's not unpleasant. Say it's pretty decent steering for a Golf. Anyway, what else do you need to know about this before I get to my fast twisty road? The noise, it's mostly artificial. It gets noisier in race mode, and you can adjust how noisy the fake noise is using the settings menu. You do get the odd whoomp on the downshift from the actual exhaust. It's not a loud bang or a crack. It's more of a like I don't know, a surprised horse. But yeah, it sounds sportier than I thought. I'm hopefully going to get to try one with the Akrapovic on at some point. Power out of corner, yes. Yeah, it's quick. It's proper quick. I did actually, I said that about the noise. I swear to God, I got a crack out of it earlier. I was just going along in fourth, off the throttle, went into third, and I swear it did a bang. But anyway, in race mode, the digital driver's display does change to give you a little horizontal rev counter across the top of it, which is quite nice. Right, I am gonna do the faff of vehicle, exterior, don't crash, swipe, wait for system, brakes, ESC, sport. Directional stability is restricted. Yes, I know, I did it. It took me bloody ages, but I did get there. Right, we are gonna do the usual 30 to 60 mile an hour sprint and see how quick it is. I might actually, do you know what? I'm gonna stop because there's no one behind me. It's a dead straight road. I can do launch control and see how brutal it does actually feel. Right, nothing for miles, nothing behind me. It's come to a stop. Gearbox in S, stability controls in sport mode. Right, foot on the brake, launch control active. Jesus Christ, that's 60. That made my eyes feel funny. That, yeah, this is faster than 4.7 to 60, right? Twisty road. The front axle was impressive. It's really tied down. One thing I've been surprised by is how good the brake pedal feels in this car. Not usually something you compliment in a Volkswagen, but there we go. The mass is really well controlled over those bumps. It feels glued down to the ground. And there's a Skoda Superb in front of me. Yeah, this feels a lot more alive than the old R did. Let's see, third, actually sticking second around here. Floor it. Yeah. Managed to get a little back end slide. I had to kind of force the issue, but oh yeah, okay, powering around a constant radius corner, you can feel the back axle working. In a Golf, that's ridiculous. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what the performance pack with drift mode is like. The slides are that kind of slightly artificial sort that you get from other cars with this setup, like the A45 and the Focus RS, because it's not just sending all the torque it can to the back wheels. It's just a little bit, and you kind of have to hold the steering wheel straight, otherwise the slide ends, but it's decent. Oh, he's let me up here. Yeah, this makes you drive like a bit of a reprobate, this does, and it feels so planted doing it. Trail brake, turn it in, mind the Skoda. I've never had this much fun in a Golf in terms of handling. Yeah, this has got some tricks up its sleeve that even that Club Sport S, the iconic two-seater Golf, didn't have. Mighty impressive thing, this. Anyway, back to you, Tim, for an outro. I'm going to have some more fun. So then, does the Mark 8 version of the Volkswagen Golf R improve over the car that came before it? Yeah, and actually in ways I didn't really think it would. It suddenly feels like it's grown a sense of humour when you're chucking it about into bends, especially in ESC sport mode, and you're feeling the torque vectoring at work. It's a lot of fun, and the old car was just, there's more efficient speed than megalols. This has actually got some funnies now, which is really good. It's still ballistically fast, it's still practical as a family car. The only real negatives are it's expensive, everything's got more expensive, so you're looking at about a 40 grand car now. And the fuel economy is about 30 mpg, which is not amazing, it's just average really, isn't it? And some of the kit isn't standard, so there's no reversing camera on this car, stuff like that. But you know, that's kind of fairly standard stuff, isn't it? Well, it's not standard stuff, if you get what I mean. Anyway, it's a very good car, it is fun, it is fast, it's efficient, and still very practical So yeah, if you've got a family and you want a car that does fun stuff and practical stuff, it's really good. That was bloody long, wasn't it? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the old bell, and I'll see you next time for more car stuff, but without the German intro. Goodbye.